Tom Line is on the line, CEO and Managing Director of Terra Metals. Now, Tom, it was just a few weeks ago that we had the privilege of joining you on the ground at your Dante project in Western Australia. It is massive. I think you said 1.5 times the size of Singapore, Bushveld-style mineralisation. And you've got a drilling program going on there now. So let's start at the top because it's a big project, lots happening. Remind us about what's happening with the current drill program.
That's right, Danielle. Thank you. We have a big program going, and I think because of the size of the project and the amount of different goals that we're setting out to achieve on this program and the amount of rigs that we have moving at the moment, people get a little bit lost and it's difficult to understand what's happening where, which is understandable. And we're going to work on that to give people a better understanding. But we have essentially 3 or 4 goals on this current program. So one of those goals is to extend and expand the current maiden resource estimate at Reef 1 and Reef 2, which was announced a few months ago of 148 million tonnes at 1.38% copper equivalent. We are also working to test new prospects in areas that haven't been drilled before and make new discoveries, and then looking to convert those discoveries into resources as quickly as possible. And the third thing that we're working on primarily is collecting larger amounts of metallurgical sample with the diamond rig to undertake more advanced and larger scale optimization metallurgical studies. And within each of the prospects that I've mentioned, you have Reef 1, Reef 2, and then Southwest has been a big focus area. There are multiple prospects within Southwest, for example. So Southwest is not just Southwest. We have listed 9 individual prospects within Southwest in their own right. Each of them are large. And Southwest is 12 square kilometers, right? It's not just a standard normal prospect that people might think of when they look at it on a map. It's 12 square kilometers. So these are big individual project areas. We call them prospects, and within them, there are multiple prospects. And so we're going to work on better defining those for people so they can understand really how much is going on.
It's a very large project and it's very dynamic, very polymetallic. Let's talk about some of the results that have been coming through so far. Let's begin with assay results from the first 8 holes. I believe this was from your very first week of drilling. Can you tell us about this?
That's right. So the first results were released yesterday. Excellent results. We had results up to 59 meters at almost 1% copper equivalent. And what we hit was really thick reef. So these reefs, 59 meters, is 11 times thicker than the reefs that we see at Reef 1 and Reef 2 that made up the maiden resource estimate of over 140 million tonnes. So you can see when you're getting 11 times thicker mineralization, you're getting a much bigger package of mineralization, potential strip ratio, much, much smaller. It's a really great step forward for the project. But those results are from the first week of drilling at a place we've never drilled before. And we're learning in that first week. As we've learnt, we've been drilling for 8 weeks now. We've been moving the rig around. We had 3 rigs running at Southwest for several weeks after this first week, in which we've encountered different styles of sulfide mineralization than what we saw early on. Net textured, semi-massive and massive sulfide mineralization with chalcopyrite, bornite and pentlandite minerals in there. And it's really been building as the program has gone on. So we're going to be seeing results coming back over the coming weeks, from earlier parts of the program. And we're going to build towards some of those visuals we put out last week in the later weeks. So we're probably looking at 4 to 6 weeks for some of those to start coming back. And in the interim, we'll be getting a lot of the results from earlier parts of the program. And on top of that, we've done a lot of drilling at Hyperion, Reef 2, a lot of drilling at Creus. We've got 30 odd holes at Reef 2, 25, 30 holes at Reef 1. They're going to be coming back in as well. These are areas within the resource boundaries we've never drilled before. Also extensional drilling and diamond holes as well.
Talk to us a bit about the geology, because you've mentioned just within Southwest, we're seeing very different elements come to the fore.
It is. Yeah, the geology is very different at Southwest. There are similarities which remain consistent across the Dante project. That is that the mineralization is always associated with this titanium, vanadium rich reef layer, which in its own right has proven to have extremely good metallurgical properties, produces fantastic concentrates of vanadium and titanium concentrates, the best hard rock titanium concentrate in the world aside from Rio Tinto's Quebec operations. and the best vanadium concentrate in Australia, one of the best vanadium concentrates in the world, and we're looking to make that even better, to put it top 3 to top 5 globally. But what it also has is a lot of copper, nickel, and precious metals. The Reef 1 and Reef 2 initial maiden resource doesn't have any nickel really. It's copper dominant and a lot of platinum and gold with lesser palladium. In Southwest, what we're seeing is a higher ratio of nickel with the copper. So it's almost equal nickel and copper sulfide in the mineralization we're seeing there. And we're seeing lower precious metals in some of the initial stuff, but that's just one of the styles we're seeing there. There are multiple other styles to come through in assays moving forward. We're also seeing high-grade cobalt at Southwest, which we don't see in the other prospects. So Southwest, it's more of a ultramafic, more like the Morensky Platte Reef type geology, more nickel rich, more cobalt rich, potential and more palladium rich in the precious metals. So potential there for massive sulfide, high grade copper, nickel, cobalt, PGMs, and we're excited to be unlocking that different style at the moment.
Well, with so many boxes to tick, I'm sure it's helpful that you have brought on 2 senior appointments. Solomon Buckman, new chief geologist, and Evan Kirby, new chief metallurgist. Tell us about this.
Yeah, it's a really exciting moment for the company and for me. This really is what we need to take the project to the next level. We've achieved a lot as a small team, and it's time now with the increased budget, the increased scale of the project, and the expanding scale of the discovery that we bring in some extra kind of power to help us move this forward. Dr. Solomon Buckman is a really, really good geologist. He's seen most geological provinces across the world. He's had multiple PhD students globally. He's worked at multiple universities, associate professor at University of Wollongong for several decades, and has a very good reputation, lots of publications, but also a very good economic geologist, which is hard to find in an academic. The merging of economic geology and the academic skill set which Sol has. Evan Kirby is one of the best metallurgists in the world in looking at these reef-type systems, processing polymetallic reefs, vanadium, titanium, platinum group metals, nickel, copper sulfide, making different products, things like that. Spent a lot of time working in the Bushveld. And Evan has been leading the metallurgy for us for the last 8 months. So he started working with us late last year, delivered the first metallurgical results. He's delivered excellent results for us and continues to lead that program. And it's appropriate for us to put him in that role now, the chief metallurgical role, because that is really, the role that he plays and what we need to have him continuing to play. So both Evan and Sol will help us take this to the next level.
So with those extra hands on deck and holes in the ground, exactly what is next to take it to the next level?
So we've only put out 8 of 49 drill holes that have been drilled at Southwest. That includes RC and diamond holes. We've got 30 or 40 holes each at Reef 1 and Reef 2, which have not come back yet. They're still waiting for assays. They'll start coming back on those soon as well. Multiple diamond holes across Reef 1 and Reef 2. We've got metallurgical optimization test work being undertaken at the moment. There'll be progressive results coming out on that. We're also undertaking some other mineralogical studies and working on different prospects and mapping around the project, which we'll be putting updates out on the different new prospects and letting the market know about those and what's to come next for drilling next year as well.
Well, the Dante Project is never boring, so we're looking forward to hearing all those results as they happen.
Thanks, Danielle. Me too.